Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Heather, and on this channel we like to walk a very fine line between a shopping addicted makeup monster and a responsible adult with a makeup hobby. Now, I really enjoy eyeshadow singles, duochromes, multichromes, blush, highlight, lip gloss, basically everything except pressed glitter. And today, we're going to be duping the vibes of the Ensley Rain Cold Moon palette, which, if you have not seen it, you still can't see it. There we go. If you have not seen it, it looks something like that. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, stick with me. We're getting into it right now. Alright, and so the original palette is a lot of like cool toned, kind of grayish, almost green leaning taupey shades. And then you've got some pops of like browns, muted plums, and a sort of muted coral. And then you have some shimmery duochrome, multichrome type shades. Some of them are holochromes that go with it. Now, I don't have all those decadent holochromes or anything in my collection, but what I did come up with was this palette right here, which I think if I hold it down here, I can put a picture of the other palette up there. Hopefully, editing Heather will come through. And you can kind of see how close we came. So I'm going to swatch this one out for you, and then I liked this palette. Like, when I saw it, I loved it. I thought it looked beautiful. I was like already ready to buy it. But then there was some controversy about like the AI art that Ensley Rain uses, and there was some question about private labeling, which they have since responded to on Instagram. We're still waiting for a response on the AI art component of things, and their shipping cost is bonkers. So for me, I was like, the cost of the palette's already pretty high, plus the cost of shipping, it's just a little too much for me. So let me try to dupe it out myself. So this is what I came up with, and I want to swatch this out for you. But I did also kind of take the prompt of Cold Moon and make my own sort of reinterpretation. So I want to get this out and show it to you as well. So let's start with swatches of this one, and then we'll go into the other one. Alright, so starting at the beginning, we have Mr. Sparkle, Coral Reef, both from Copacetic Cosmetics, and then we have Georgia Peach from Shine by SD. You can see all those there. I don't know if you can tell, but this one is a duochrome. This third shade here is a duochrome that switches kind of like peach and pink. I don't know if maybe on my finger you'll see it better. Kind of see it there. And then next up we have Daystar Light from Shine by SD, Daystar Light from Sydney Grace, Echinida from Shine by SD, which is part of the Duality 2.0 collection, and then we have Pinecone, again from Sydney Grace. So that's those. And then this one is an unnamed shade from a Saints Angels Sinners palette that I broke down because I don't support that brand anymore. And then I have Hear Me Out from ColourPop. And then this last one, Whistling Woods from Shine by SD and the Duality Part 2. And it's a very flaky version of kind of this same shift of the like pink to gold. And I'm sorry I'm like out of frame for part of this. Alright, so next up we have Pretty Cruel from ColourPop, which is like a burgundy with gold sparkle. And then I have another unnamed shade from a Saints Angels Sinners palette. But again, these are not like unique formulas. Saints Angels Sinners uses similar production to some other brands. So you can, I'm sure, find like a purple to blue duochrome in other formulas. And then this last one is from the ColourPop Aurora, what do you call it? The Aurora Struck palette. So I have a couple of singles from that, including this gray. The next one up here is Oxidation, which is a very flaky kind of gel gold and silver duochrome shade from Copacetic. And then I have another shade from that ColourPop Aurora Struck palette. And then Striker from Shine by SD. Alright, and then we've got Success from Sydney Grace. We've got another unnamed Saints Angels Sinners, which is like a purple to blue or fuchsia to blue duochrome on a red base. And then we've got another sort of grayish taupe from that ColourPop Aurora Struck palette. Alright, one more unnamed shade from a Saints Angels Sinners palette. I have Sydney Grace Dusk, and then this one is called Professional Diver from Glam Shop. Let me see if I can actually zoom in and give you some nice views of these swatches. And so that was sort of my rendition of the Cold Moon palette from Ensley Rain. However, the longer I was going through my collection and looking for the colors to really match up to this palette, the more I realized I don't think I really like this color story as much as I thought I did. So I'm so glad that I tried to do it in my singles first, because if I paid the like $75 plus $13 in shipping to get this to my house only to discover I really don't like it that much, I would be heartbroken. That would be so much money wasted. So then I was kind of thinking, like, how would I remake a Cold Moon palette to be kind of my vibe, or what I would think about for a Cold Moon, without deconstructing this palette? And the palette that I came up with was this one. And I hope you guys like it as much as I do, because I want to do a look with this one. This one feels so much more inspirational to me than that one does. So let's swatch this out quick, and then we'll do an eye look. Alright, so first up we have Dreamland from Copacetic Cosmetics, which is an iridescent, like, purple shade. And then we have Heart and Soul from Sydney Grace, which is just a matte cream. And then Baubles from Glaminatrix, which is a really, really beautiful multi-chrome. Which you can kind of see there. And then I have an unnamed matte gray shadow. I suspect is from an old ABH quad from a long, long time ago. And then I have a sparkler shade from Glam Shop called Zimni Ongi, maybe? I don't know. That's my terrible Americanized butchered version of that shade. And then I have an unnamed kind of matte lavender purple shade. Next up I have Purple Moon from Shine by SD. This is part of that Duality 2.0 bundle, which is a really nice, like, purple to blue duochrome on kind of a grayish base. Then an unnamed sort of periwinkle blue shade. And then Terra Moon's Flare Star, which I just thought with that, like, purple to the really bright kind of gold and pink would be such a nice contrast to some of the other colors that we have here so far. And then we have Sleeper from ColourPop. We have Beetlejuice from Glam Shop, which is like the darker based sister of this shade here. And then we have Indiana Love from Sydney Grace, which is like a nice kind of navy blue shade. And then the last three shades we have Protostar from Terra Moon, Midnight from Sydney Grace, which is just a matte black, and then this is Black Tourmaline from Glam Shop. And let me see if I can zoom in on this one for you guys too. Alright, and so as I said, I'm definitely more interested in the palette that I put together than the palette that Ensley Rain curated. After sort of removing all the pretty packaging, I didn't really like what was left. So I'm gonna do a look with the palette that I created instead. And I just went ahead and used the Essence Prime Like a Boss eyeshadow base. Like I said, we're going to go in and we're going to use the palette that I curated as sort of my vibe for a Cold Moon palette instead of the one that Ensley Rain created. First I'm going to go into this blue shade, then I'm going to fade that into purple, and I think I'm going to blend it into a little bit of the maroon in the outer corners here. I think I'm gonna do a little bit of the black in the outer corner here, so let me grab a brush for that. And I'm just trying to lay that base down and bring it in a little bit towards the center so that when I put a shimmer over top of it, it has kind of a blackened base underneath. Kind of something like that. That's looking pretty good, at least in my warped mind. All right, and I think I want to go in with like this shimmer and this shimmer as part of my like upper lid look, and then I do want to find a way to incorporate kind of this greeny red or the pink, because I think either way that would be pretty cool. Ooh. And I'm going in with the duality shade first, Purple Moon. So I'm going in with this shade first, and then I'm going to try to blend it into that one. Let me just re-intensify some of the mattes that are here, and then we'll work on the lower lash line. So now I think we're ready to go in and do the lower lash line, and I think I'm going to start with the black on the outermost corner and kind of bring that in towards the center. And then I'm going to take a teeny tiny bit of that same burgundy shade that's in my outer corner, and I'm going to smoke that along the edge of the black. So, blending is not my friend today, clearly, but we've at least got something on the lower lash line to work with. I think I'm going to do some of this shade on the lower inner third, and then I may actually try to use some of that on my inner corner. We'll see. Yeah, oh yeah, you see how pretty that is? It's like contrasting and complementary at the same time, because you've got the like dark greenish kind of base, but then you've got all this like warm orange and magenta and gold shimmer multi-chrome business happening. And then a little bit of inner corner action. We're going to use a very little bit of that pink. Alright, let me get on some liner and mascara, and then I'll be right back. Alright, and so this is the finished look. What do you guys think? Let's zoom out and talk about it. So personally, my thoughts are, when it comes to this palette from Ensley Rain, or my close curation of what they did, versus my palette, let's do it this way. Versus my palette, I think this palette is so much more inspiring than this one. This one is definitely very like neutral, very soft, cool toned, but you know, not a lot of like interest. Whereas this one, I think you have a little bit more contrast with these two colors specifically, kind of contrasting with everything else. You've got predominantly cool tones. You've got a lot of like sparkle and visual interest with these colors. I'm so tired of my camera not focusing. In contrast to the Ensley Rain palette, I think this one is cooler, moodier. I think it works nicely with these sort of to pops of kind of red and pink shifts. I think that gives it a little bit more visual interest, especially with the addition of that kind of burgundy matte. Overall, I think the look came out so cool. I love the glowy pink inner corner. I think that looks awesome. You guys are gonna have to let me know what you think. Do you like this palette better that I curated, or do you like the curation of the Ensley Rain original, or do you like the Ensley Rain palette altogether better than either of these? I mean, it's possible, right? And with that said, that is everything for this video. I want to thank you guys so much for sticking with me through the crazy swatches that we did today. I want to thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you go, and I'll see you in my next video.